family reunion.
Everybody can.
Fun fact, this is the first time all of us have been together since the
Don't let me talk about the dinner like all of us. Don't know where we're going after this, just let us talk to him and, get it all out. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you. This was a wonderful piece of work. And so what we shall do is that we'll just go down the line and have you guys introduce yourselves. We'll start right here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Rowan. I am the director, writer, and producer of Man Down.
Yeah!
Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Mills. I play Alonzo. Is it Alonzo Thomas?
It's been a little while, right?
It's more COVID.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joey Converson. That's my job. I play Officer Clark.
Good evening, I'm Belle Renee. I play Miss Davis, mother of Jerome Davis.
Hey, Mama!
Hi, everybody. My name is... That's my family.
My name is Saffron Harris, and I play Alicia Thomas.
Hi everybody, my name is Rahul and I wrote the music. I'm the composer of the film.
Hi everyone, I'm Ariel Granson and I play Chitty's Thomas.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Burke, and I play Bethany O'Connor.
Hi, I'm Sarah Carlo, and I play Detective Miranda Fields.
Hello, everybody. I am Yancey Wells and I am the cinematographer.
You said it right. I am the man, so many wonderful things I like about this film. I like the editing. Of course, having good music with every scene helps to carry things along and bring out more of that emotion. But just for a second, I gotta go to the casting. Let me talk about the casting. You casted these individuals for this, right?
Correct.
Ooh, you did a hell of a job.
Thank you so much.
Everybody right here? Right here. Wonderful job. Really didn't like your character, like you said. No, seriously, you did your job. It was definitely in your eyesight. You carried it for me, and you did a wonderful job with that, man. This puts you in a really like crazy predicament, in this film. Like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Do I side over here or do I side here? We blue, right? So, in between all of that, it's like a crazy kind of emotional dance that you have to do. Your career, your job, your family, right? And the film, of course. But this is just wonderful. How did this process, was it an audition? Do you know anyone personally? How did that go?
Well, I already worked with Yancey before, but yeah, I worked with Joey before prior, and I met Jason. I met most people like on Facebook, right? Because you met Joey on Facebook. But I met Jason. He was one of the last people I casted. And it was really important to find the right dynamic between the two officers. They really looked like they were friends in a relationship, and also the dynamic of Jerome's character as well. So it took me maybe 5 to 6 months to cast this. This was my thesis film that I graduated with, so it was very important that I passed. My master's, so it took me longer than I normally would to cast any film. So yeah, they were the last 3 roles that I definitely locked in, and I think I made the right choice.
Absolutely. Part of my job here during the week, especially with the rest of the team, is that we get a chance to watch these films and really get a chance to really dive in. Someone on the team had asked the comparison between the two cops. One is good, one is bad, I'm confused. Did that also play into the skin tone? One's light, one's dark.
Well, you know, that's an interesting point. Originally, it was more of a racial thing when I originally cast. Originally, the character of Clark was cast as a white man originally, but I asked Joey to come in and audition for it, and he just brought this villainous aspect to it, like, because he was auditioning for Alonzo at first, but everybody was like nervous and scared. Like, he was scared of everybody. And fun fact is, to casting Sarah, she was the only person that could hang with him, like in the scenes, because they're doing a little improv. You know, everybody else would like break. Like, what? Yeah. So then I was like, you know what? I wonder if we can play more on like making this more about, you know, like an interracial story, you know, about really being black and blue. So it's not about being white and black anymore. It's about being black and blue. So it centralized the story way differently. So I rewrote a lot of things to make it central to the casting choice of the characters, and you know, from that point on. So I think it worked much more well. I really love the way it turned out better, and it's more of a talking piece than what we don't normally see in these type of films. More about the perspective of the officers and struggling to be black and blue.
Indeed. What did you guys think about the film? Just get everybody's thoughts, their experience in working on this film, working with you, and of course working with each other. So we'll start right there. So tell me about your experience, your thoughts, you know, in front of the camera and things going on behind the scenes. Your thoughts.
This was a great experience, honestly. As Jonathan brought up, you know, you found me randomly, and I say divinely, you know, because, you know, as we, as actors, look for roles, as the saying goes, you don't look for them, they find you. And this one really did find me. He hit me up, and he asked me to come in, and the funny thing about the casting he was just talking about is, he was trying to get me to come out and audition 3 times prior to it, and I just couldn't make it. And by the time I finally made it, this brother was here, and I just looked, you know, I thought the role was supposed to be a white guy, and then he was there. And we just had this connection, like, from the moment we got into the room. It was intense, and, like, you know, it was like, you could have shot the movie right then and there. We were in LMU, and one of the classrooms just auditioning. And it just went there, and you know, we had to do the scene where Jerome dies, and you know, we just really both committed, and I was like, man, you know, I wanted to be a part of this film when I got a chance to read it and see what was going on, because I felt like, you know, with everything that's going on right now, this is a perfect time to tell the story. But just as an actor, you know, to dare to do certain roles like this, I was like, man, this would be a really good one to be the lead on and get a chance to be the eyes and the focal point of this story, because it is a challenge, like you were talking about, that dance, that emotional dance that's going on. There's actually a lot more that goes on with this dance that we shot, you know, that we didn't get a chance to see, which I wish you guys could have saw, because like, to me, like, as an actor, as a person, it's like you only see this guy kind of like go and make sure that he's covered, but he really does cover himself and his family, as you're talking about, and what we see later on. I don't want to do that up because he hasn't released it yet, but it's a lot more to the story that was actually written and shot that didn't make it to the screen. And I was like, damn, I wish I could have made it to the screen, but you know, eventually.
So yeah, like the original cut, this movie's like 35 minutes.
Okay. What I like to do, I want to keep moving on down the line. Our time is fleeting, but I want to make sure everybody's thoughts. Your thoughts about the film in front of the camera and also behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I on my way over here, I told my fiance, I said, hey, I'm gonna go be the most hated guy in the auditorium. So to hear all the reactions, you know, first of all, thank you for the beautiful writing. Thank you for giving me all of the work that you did to work from. But a lot of it was a lot of homework for me. A lot of homework for me. My mom is white, my dad is African American black. And growing up, there's there's definitely been some tension between me and my father, and there's other things that drove that character's hatred of black people, of himself, of his father, and his father moved him away from all of that and said, that's not who you're going to be. And so his father even put that into his head. And so it was just character building, backstory, but it also has a lot to do with my own story. I grew up in a very white town, and my dad grew up in the projects of Detroit, and he said, I'm not going to be what he had to be. So then I massaged that into hatred, and it was actually a therapeutic for me, because I realized I love my black people, I love my brown people, I love the part of me that is black, and
He is a nice
see, but growing up, they always say like identity's tough for people who are biracial, and it has been, and this movie definitely was very therapeutic. It was shot before George Floyd, but came out right on time.
I also too want to thank you, Jonathan. I have profusely for the character of Miss Davis. It's probably one of the most heaviest roles to prepare for. It's one of the, I remember that morning just being heavy, thinking about this sorority of women who don't choose to be in the sorority. The mothers that want the best for their children, and to unfortunately have to deal with this. And so it was an unfortunate honor that I wish I didn't have to present or represent, but I did my best in making sure that I tried to convey and remember them, and just remember the pain always, and try to remember the names. I even remember trying to go through with Jonathan's mothers just to always keep, and I still do keep them with me, and we're still getting them. And so this part always comes back to me watching the news. This will be with me forever. And I'm glad that we do have this piece to have that portion of it where we think about the mothers of these children who are, taking things away.
You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
So for me, I was cast during the preliminary stages when you were shooting your spec trailer, and so I was cast for the same role, but Clark was a white man. And even then, the script was very, very engaging, and I really loved the character. Just even the outline of it. So when he kept me, for the role, and I got to play with Jason, it was awesome because the first day, like Jason said, there's so much that was written. There's so much story for the rest of our characters that wasn't seen. Our first scene was a very emotionally heavy scene that we filmed, and that really solidified the bond between a lot of the cast. That scene between Joey and Jason, when they were talking, that even just being in the venue, the city, in a house while they were filming that was so heavy. It was just such a great experience working with all these amazing actors and the cinematographer and post-production. The color grading is awesome. I'm so proud of it. And working with people who are really invested in their craft just makes you be a better artist too. So I take that. I'm so blessed. Thank you, Jonathan.
I'm also a composer, and I score films as well as voiceovers. How is your process, and how does it work for you? Did you already have music that you said, oh, you know what, this will go really good with this scene, or did you look at the scene and then just compose from there?
I mean, Jonathan, do you remember what we did? I mean, we just kind of bounced some ideas off each other, and then just kind of went through there. Obviously, with the strong acting performances and the writing, music can't really has a life, right? So thank you guys for that. But yeah, in terms of my approach, just kind of come up with themes generally, and then just kind of make it work. And I mean, writing music is all about narrative and story. That's essentially what he's doing as well, right? So I'm just trying to add to that.
You did, definitely.
Thank you.
Thoughts about the film, your experience?
This is probably one of the most easiest roles to prepare for, I would say, just because I felt very close with the character in the sense of activism. He mentioned there was a lot of scenes that didn't make it to this edited version. But like there's history between me and Clark. There's protests involved, and I also feel like for myself, like I'm a huge activist for a lot of these issues. And one of the things that I really appreciate about Jonathan is going back and reconstructing it to look at colorism within like the blue cop society, because even though it was released or it was filmed before George Floyd, once it was put out and all of those things were happening, that was a huge issue for a lot of, Black people who were a part of the police force or who had family, so you really got to see like the racism between, each other. And I think that's really important to talk about because we're not strong if we're not together. So I feel really grateful and blessed to be a part of it. And I also love that when we shot everything, he writes the script, but he's really good at just letting you kind of like fly and improvise. And that's one of my, like, I think the way that you direct is like my favorite.
Thank you for that. Thoughts and experiences with the film.
So I'm with Jason where I actually missed the first two auditions. I was out of town, so I sent in a self-tape and they kept emailing me to come in, and I was like, I'm out of town again. So they called me back a third time, and I was like, all right, I'm in town. And it was a long day. So I go in, and usually you say your name and you audition, and they're like, well, why do you want to be part of this film? There's all these people just staring at you, and I'm like, oh, I was so not prepared for that. And then, I kept, like, you'd see people, they'd either send you home or you'd stay. So I read with a few different people that day, and, you'd see the people go home, and I'm like, all right, they didn't make it, I'm still here. So I made it, which was great. But it was funny because the day that we shot the dinner scene afterwards with you, and, they were like, come on, Rachel, you have to be the funny one, like, this has to, and, like, no one laughed, they'd cut. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm funny, I don't know. So it was great seeing it tonight because everyone laughed, and I'm like, okay, all right, it was funny. It turned out amazing, so props to you and props to everybody here.
All right, I think I'll be the broken record and take my hat off to Jonathan as well. Showing up to auditions, I really saw how meticulous and passionate of an artist he was. And of course, reading the script and reading the writing, I just saw how important this story was and how relevant and timely. And even though I have a very small role in the film, I was just so excited to be a part of it and tell this story. Also, just really want to throw out for the other actors in my scene, Ken Drakery, who's not here, who was amazing, and also to Jason. I feel as an artist, a lot of times we don't get a lot of validation, or as adults, so I always love to give it. His nuance, scene after scene, was just beautiful, and you see it all through the film. And always enjoy it. Thank you.
Yeah, you have some time for that. Yeah, it was just I really enjoy working with all these actors and John as John is an amazing director. Actually, we did shoot something a few months ago, and this dude is even better now. We shot this a few years ago. Got to see this guy's stuff now. Can't speak more highly about this guy. His casting on point, directing on point, writing on point. Can't say that about a lot of directors, but this dude absolutely can say about. And can I speak more about how much this guy works? Every other week we're getting a message about, oh, this film is in another film festival. Film is in another film festival. Go visit this guy. This guy's work is crazy. But working with these guys is easy. And shout out to Joy, actually, too, because actually you're a really good dude, believe it or not. And
What about you feeling?
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Just seeing you come into character was amazing. And then, yeah, me filming it.
Yes.
It was a pleasurable experience. What would you these guys, of course, as a cinematographer, we're always met with challenges, and time is always an issue. But working with a cast, like you said, that's passionate about the craft, and you always know who's really there for the moment and for the project, not there for the hype or anything else, just there for the acting, for the craft, and that's all of these people here. And so, working on this film was easy.
Social media website, we'll go on down the line. Social media website.
I just started a new production company myself, Y2W Media Production Group. And check me out, please. IG and all social media platforms.
You can find me on Instagram at globalgirl22. I also love to travel, and I'm a writer. So everything of mine is Rachel K. Burke, B-U-R-K-E, my website, my Instagram. I publish 5 books, and I host 2 podcasts too, so do
I'm Ariel, I said that. My personal Instagram is Golden Relz, so GOLDENRELZ. But I do work as a full-time digital marketing specialist, and I'm in the process of starting my own marketing agency for entertainment. I'm a student too, so looking to do pro bono stuff, but I've done like event marketing. I want to get into the habit of doing like email series to promote people's films and people's musics and albums. So if you want to, it's like brand spanking new. But if you want to follow the Instagram for that, the marketing agency is called Only the Elite. So that Instagram is onlytheelite.co.
Thank you.
If you'd like to follow me or just want to see what I'm working on, it's just my first name, last name, music. So Rahul Shah Music, and that's my website, Instagram, everything. So.
Thank you.
You can find me on Instagram, Saf, that's spelled SAPHSAFF.
Thank you.
All social media platforms, but if you could just go to my IMDb page, because it was read this morning. ELOE Vernee, VERNEE. Appreciate it, thank you.
What's up, y'all? I'm actually a health and fitness coach. My business is Joey's Designer Fitness, and my Instagram is Joey Coverson at. Oh, that was going to be my email. Joey. It's just Joey Coverson. That's JOEYCO as in victory ERSON.
You can follow me on Instagram, Jason_Mims. Last name is MIMMS. And Facebook, Jason Mims. No anything in between.
You can find me on all platforms. That is Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook right now. Supastar Productionz, SUPASTAR Productionz with a Z. Branded on my shirt. So I wore it today. So yeah.
Tell me really quickly about the shirt.
So yeah, my shirt says, don't shoot. I can't read that.
Don't shoot me.
Don't shoot me before I get a chance to shoot you with a gun and a film camera. Black filmmakers matter. Everybody, I just want to thank you guys so much for going on this journey with me. I can never thank you so much. This film experience has been so amazing for all of us. There's so much more of us to come. We're still climbing. We went to 20 plus and more festivals. Like, this has been a great ride, and I appreciate each and every one of you so much, and I love y'all.
Listen, really quickly, you all did an amazing job. No role here is small. All roles are important that you all play with your gifts, your talents, and your skills. Thank you so much for bringing something like this to us to watch, to discuss, and talk about and have further conversations about. So thank you, 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 and continued success to each and every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our down, make noise. And Raul.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for all of our films that we've seen here today.